Still don't believe me? You will.
Welcome to Demented Collective. This is our new series, Twisted Television. We'll be diving into spooky television shows, that sort of thing. I'm Dave.
I'm Gary.
And we're starting with the first and only season of Eerie, Indiana. What's the premise of the actual show? Do you know? Not the specific episode, but the show.
Elementary school student? I believe he's in elementary school. They never
maybe junior high.
Yeah, they never say what grade he's in. But so Marshall Teller and his family moved to Eerie, Indiana, the town of Eerie in Indiana, and he's clearly having a hard time adjusting to it. His parents and his clearly high school age sister act like everything is
Clearly high school age sister. We're going to get into her real age.
Oh, yeah. Well, I only say that because episode 1, but...
No, yeah. She's supposed to be 16 or something.
Yeah.
She's not.
Well, obviously.
Right.
But so anyways, and he is having a hard time adjusting to it, and also he seems to be the only one, along with his friend Simon, that knows that Eerie is...
And another friend shows up too, further in the series. I think they felt they needed to add a female friend or something.
Of course.
Dash X. But we don't meet that person until later.
Yeah.
So we haven't met her yet.
It seems to. It probably was going along at the time. I mean, it was the '90s, where when you think about it, a lot of those the dynamic was.
Things were changing.
2 guys and a girl. I mean, around that time frame, you had like Beetleborgs and I want to say VR Troopers and a bunch of other ones where a lot of the things was 2 guys, 1 girl.
Yeah. That was going on into the 2000s. 2 guys and a girl in a pizza shop or something, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think it was just because for every, 1 out of every 3 viewers was most likely female, so they were trying to cater, I guess you could say, or...
Well, I remember back then a lot of toy companies, movies, everything, they were all trying to pull in the female audience because everything was designed for boys unless it was Barbie or something like that. My Little Pony, whatever.
Marketing.
Right. They were trying to market to the females.
Yeah. Which, hey, I get it. I mean, it doesn't have to be, exclusively male or female, but it does help to have that extra...
Sure. And we went off there on a little tangent.
Yeah. Also, especially if you're like, me, I was born in '91, but I still grew up watching these shows and everything and loved it. And
I think I saw this when it aired. So this first episode aired Sunday, September 15th, 1991. So I would have been 10 years old when this aired.
I would have been like 6 months.
Oh, dang. Okay. First episode is called Foreverware. A little breakdown of it. Marshall and his family are welcomed to their new hometown by Betty Wilson, who encourages Marshall's mom to buy Foreverware, a special type of plastic container guaranteed to keep anything fresh forever. We'll go through the cast of this one. This is the only time we're going to do the cast because there's a main cast that sticks with the whole series.
Afterwards.
Continuing on.
And always don't forget to like, subscribe, etc. And spoilers ahead.
Yeah. And continuing on, we'll just hit the guest stars, that sort of thing. The director? Okay, so Joe Dante directed this thing. Joe Dante. Gremlins 1 and 2 director. The Howling. The Burbs. The Explorers. Piranha from 1977 or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah, the cheesy parody of Jaws or something like that.
Yeah, they were just having fun. He did a lot of horror. And he's directing an episode of Eerie, Indiana. I loved that. That was fantastic to see.
Awesome.
Writers, Jose Rivera and Carl Schaefer wrote this. Rivera, not much. Schaefer does a lot of TV sci-fi shows.
Okay.
Still does. And we move into our main cast. Marshall Teller is Omri Katz. And what's he from? What's everyone going to know this kid from?
You are probably most definitely going to recognize him as Max from Hocus Pocus, the male lead.
So if you hear me call him Max, it's because that's where I know him best from. I've seen that movie many times.
Same.
And that's pretty much all he did.
I mean, dude, they had an
This and
all-star
that.
cast. Bette Midler. I
Bet-
still love Bette Midler.
Oh, well, yeah, and Horseface. Don't forget Horseface.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dot MPEG.
Simon Holmes. He's by Simon Shinkaro. I don't know. Shinkaro.
Shinkaro?
Yeah.
Something
And
like that.
he does a ton of TV. Still does.
Mhm.
Mary Margaret Humes is the mother of Marshall. And she was in History of the World Part 1.
Really?
Mel Brooks did, yeah, in like 79 or whatever it was. And then Dawson's Creek, some folks might know that. She was in that.
Oh, yeah. I never
Probably
saw
saw it
Dawson's
or something.
Creek. But
Yeah,
I
I never did
do
either.
like James Vanderbeek.
I don't.
It's James Vanderbeek, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Vanderbeek. Yeah.
And Edgar Teller, the dad, Francis Gwynnin, he actually has some movies under his. He got some movies under his belt. He was in Constantine, Keanu, Speed 2.
Knew I recognized the dad.
Yeah, you're gonna know him from this next one, The Last Airbender, the live version.
I probably
He's the old
blacked
guy.
that out. But
Who's the old guy's name? Last Airbender.
Which old guy? Oh, the uncle?
Yeah.
I think it was just uncle.
Oh, dang it.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he's one of the old guys.
Full disclosure, I haven't seen Avatar in a while. It's probably because I had a bad taste in my mouth
That
because
sucks.
of you, M. Night I'm talking about the animated series. And I haven't really checked out much of the live
Oh, we're gonna
action
rip
series.
on M. Night Shyamalan coming up soon.
You,
You could check out our movie reviews. We're hitting M. Night soon.
yeah. He's done some good ones, but why did you have to fuck up The Last Airbender?
Right. You're good at surprising thriller horror films. Stick to it.
He did a good
Even-
film adaptation of Cabin at the End of the World, also known as Knock at the Cabin.
Oh,
was
okay.
the film title. But
Okay.
I digress.
Okay. Julie Condra is the sister, Cindy Teller. Lots of TV. Her real age when she was hired for the show is 21 years old.
Makes sense.
She's supposed to be 16.
She looks 16, but I'm not a good judge of age. Also,
That's our main cast.
yeah.
So we're not going to touch on them again in the future episodes. Our guest star this week is Luann Gideon as Betty Wilson. She was secret role of Alex Mack. I don't know if you... Yeah, it was a Nickelodeon show in the mid-90s. Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan.
Okay. Oh.
She was in one episode of Saved by the Bell. Now, I watched Saved by the Bell. She was in the one where Zach and Tori, it was one of the later seasons, when Kelly left. They got trapped in an elevator with a pregnant woman. She's the pregnant woman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember watching Saved by the Bell. I think I ended up not remembering a bunch of Saved by the Bell after I found out that Screech turned into an
Adult
star.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she died kind of young.
Oh no.
She was 58.
That is young.
In 2014, she died.
Oh.
Eerie, Indiana.
R.I.P.
Population 16,661.
I-
1,666,1.
Yep, I have that. I was like, oh my gosh. 666. Funny. For a kids show, too. I mean, like,
Right. Well, yeah,
it was the 90s.
they're trying to make it creepy, and you can tell they try to throw in some humor and that sort of thing because it's a kids show.
Oh,
well, I wouldn't say kid, maybe, but I'd say junior high and up. Because when you were saying is he in grammar school or not? Okay, so the twins we're going to get to in this episode are in 7th grade, so that makes me think that he's at least equivalent to them.
Yeah.
Him and
He
Simon?
has a job as a paper boy,
Right.
which I think was more common. Well, I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, he was. And some of the stuff he says are... Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so let's dive into it. We meet the family. They introduce everyone. Cindy is practicing for her driving test.
Hence the high school assumption.
Yeah, so she's practicing, so I assume 16.
Yeah. And he's given the basic rundown for, of his family and how they are and everything, and, him moving to it and that. And he talks about moving from he moved to a
From Chicago, I think.
Yeah, Chicago, where there was like crime sirens. I think he even said murder, and
Sure.
he says that
Chicago.
he loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
right.
dude, as he's driving along, riding along his paper route on his bicycle, and the things you see include someone washing a straitjacket on one of those, like clotheslines.
Mm-hmm.
A guy that looks like Elvis
Oh yeah.
Presley.
Yeah.
The population, 16,661. A raven with an eyeball.
And this is the opening.
Yeah,
of
and
the
this
show.
is
This is like the credits.
or the first episode introducing you to the town and the main family.
Well, they did it again on the second episode. So
Yeah.
that makes me think it's kind of their title card. Their, you're welcome to the show
Yeah,
kind of thing.
in case you missed it,
Right.
things like that.
Betty Wilson rings the bell. She walks in with her twins and wants to sell the new mom in the neighborhood Foreverware. And she's got that very 50s look. 50s
like
style.
The, what was that, like the door-to-door salespeople?
Tupperware? Avon
No.
calling?
Like Tupperware, Avon, Mary Kate, I think was another
Mary
one.
Kay.
Mary Kate.
Mary Kate
Sorry,
is
Mary
an
Kate
Olsen.
and Ashley Olsen.
Yeah.
I'm a bigger fan of Elizabeth.
Right, everyone is. And she gives Marilyn a container with a sandwich from 1974 and says it's still fresh because the thing keeps it fresh forever. As long as you don't break the seal.
Yeah, and seal it properly.
Right. She's yapping to the mom and the boy. She has two twins with her, her sons that she brings with her. They're carrying that stuff, and they slip Marshall a note. Yearbook, 1964.
Hmm.
So they check out the yearbook, and I
Yeah.
think we're introduced to Simon at this point.
Yeah, where Marshall's talking about Simon, even though he's younger, he has nowhere else to hang around, and he's pretty much like Marshall's his only friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I think his parents don't want him around.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah,
Dang.
poor Simon.
Wow. Okay.
Simon, I think, is in elementary school.
Or maybe middle school, where it's kind of like 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
Oh, well, given the time frame, yeah, because I know some they start going back and forth. Oh, when I did it, it was elementary was 1 through 6,
Mm-hmm.
middle was 7 through 8, or junior high was 7 and 8.
Yeah, I went to a
So-
junior high, and then I transferred to a middle school in 8th grade. So there were 6th graders suddenly around.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I think things were shifting at that point in the mid-90s, somewhere there. I don't know.
Oh, and it could just vary by region, because even in some places, they break up elementary school. You've got like 1 through 3, and then 4 through 6, or something like that.
And for all we know, in a future episode, we're going to find out
Yeah.
exactly what grade they're in.
Yeah.
Stay
Tangent.
tuned for that. The boys look up the yearbook, and they find the twins in the yearbook in 1964.
Oh, crap.
Right, nobody saw that. Well, wait, this is coming out after that, so we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. And they, realize these guys are 30-something years old, given it's 1991.
Yeah, but they haven't aged a day.
Have an age of day.
Yeah.
And the boys spy on Betty.
Yes.
And they see the twins getting into big Forevermore containers.
Foreverware.
Foreverware.
Forever what?
Forevermore. Oh, I'm going
Forever
into,
there.
I'm going into Edgar Allan Poe.
Quoth the raven.
Right, exactly.
Forever where?
Betty sees the boys and cackles as they're running away. Like, it's so weird.
Right.
Okay.
Like, dude.
But for a kid show, that could be scary, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
It's supposed to be creepy for kids.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I loved it.
Yeah.
I grew up on horror too, so like, yeah, it was like.
Oh yeah. Mom goes to the Foreverware party, and the women are dressed.
Tupperware cult.
Yeah, basically, that's pretty much what it is. Oh man. Oh, I could go off on a tangent. I've seen one of the Tupperware videos of them. It was a cult in the 60s. It was wild.
I mean, I get it, because my mom used to, on the side, do, because she was a stay-at-home mom for most of my childhood, So on the side, because well, she still to this day she's a busybody. So she was doing stuff like that. I mean, Avon, or Mary Kay, one of those like things like that. She was doing stuff like that. Home interiors, that was her. Like that's what she
Okay.
did because well, she had a knack for it. But yeah, that was hers. And then of course, she also has a friend that did those slumber parties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me more. Maybe after we record this.
Jildo.
So,
that was her nickname,
so
not my mom's.
okay. So,
The lady.
they go to the party. Let's get back on track. We're talking about your mom. Again, this is the
Your
second
mom.
time. They go to the party. All the women at the party are dressed from different eras.
One
So-
even references Reagan.
Probably,
I think,
yeah.
yeah.
Early 80s. He was elected in, 81, 80, something like that.
I had this. I remember when I had it sealed or made the day that Reagan got elected president.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Or something like that. It's like holy shnikey, and they all look to be roughly around the same age.
Yeah, and they have their names. I don't know if you noticed their last names. The last name is Stouffer, Swanson,
Oh yes.
Crocker, Pillsbury.
Yep.
Yeah. So they kind of did that.
Brand Mills, Swanson TV dinners, I
Uh-huh.
believe. Betty Crocker
Right.
and
Pillsbury.
Doughboy.
Yeah. So they were kind of doing a play on names there.
Yeah.
So, Marshall.
McStuffins.
Marshall's. Oh, I like the '70s lady, like with the massive makeup. She
The
cracked
one
me
with
up.
the lime green.
Yeah, she was
and,
cracking me up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Marshall sneaks into the house, and the twins find Marshall, but they ask him for help.
Mm-hmm.
Betty goes searching for the twins. Marshall hides in the Foreverware bed. Betty gives.
So does that mean if it was sealed properly, does that mean he?
I wondered that. He got into the bed. Maybe it wasn't sealed correctly because nothing was in it in the prior, so it would look weird to the mom. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to think that hard on these.
I mean, it was a kids show, but
Right.
yeah, I'm sorry, that's where my brain goes.
Betty goes searching. He's hiding. Betty gives mom a contract.
Also, just want to point out, did you notice, this is something I couldn't help but laugh about, so in one of the scenes where, like the lady, I want to say in the lime green suit and
Mhm.
was crying, Betty hands her some Kleenex in a freaking Foreverware, it's like Tupperware container, just with Kleenex sticking out, like
no,
everything
they have
was-
something for everything.
I know, I was like, oh my god.
What was the one thing? The pickle,
Oh yeah.
like
The
distributor
pickle
or something,
Distributor, or yeah, like.
and it just folds out and 4 pickles
And
pop
it's
out.
funny because, yeah, again, my mom did Pampered Chef was another thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had a thing for everything too.
So
I
if
swear.
people watch our shows, they're gonna know a lot about your mom.
I love how
I'm gonna send links
your
to your mom. So
hey
she-
mom, you're gonna be YouTube famous.
yeah, right. We just need people to watch first.
Right.
Betty gives mom a contract and she signs it, and then everyone leaves. Betty goes to bed. Boys go to bed. She seals up her boys in the Foreverware, and then she gets in her own queen size, at least, Foreverware bed.
Yeah.
And now Marshall comes back to the house
Mm-hmm.
and releases the twins from their bed, and
Breaks the seal.
he's like, "Well, what about your mom?" And the twins, see, this is how you know it's early '90s because the twins are like, "We'll take care of her. Don't you worry about it."
Right.
What the heck?
Hey, I remember doing that
Dude,
as a
that's
kid.
brutal.
Don't judge me.
No. Yeah, that's fun. Whatever, as a kid. But about your mom,
Let's go,
and you
right?
mean it? Like, okay.
I wonder how many times we've said your mom this episode.
Oh, I know, right? And then you hear from the house. It's like a shot of the house, and you hear from the house, "Boys, what have you done? My vacuum seal!" And then screaming to kind of,
Dun dun dun.
And I like that they did it without showing it.
Yeah.
Because I get to imagine her wilting or that sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So Mom and Marshall, they go to Betty's. The twins are now grown up, and they have a for sale sign, and they're pounding it in. And Mom is like, "Hey, you got any paperwork? I want that back." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we got it right here. Here you go."
Yeah.
And then an old woman pops out of the window.
Boys, who is that?
Yeah.
And Marshall the entire time was just like,
Right. And then, well, one of the twins winks at him, like wink, like
Yeah.
you know, it's us.
oh, good times.
And then they end up adding the Foreverware bologna sandwich to their Eerie, Indiana evidence locker. And that's the end of the show. They're only 24 minutes long. When I was a kid, I thought they were way longer, like
Me
an hour,
too.
but yeah.
Maybe, well, the kids, when we were, I don't know.
So what'd you think of the episode?
I loved it.
Because obviously in a season, I think it's 19 episodes in the season. There's going to be some bummers that just don't hit, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it just because as soon as it kicked in and everything, the cabinet, the opening sequence where he's riding his bike on the clearly green screen, everything, it was like immediate nostalgia, transportation back to when I was a kid watching
Oh yeah,
that.
everything about this takes me back to '91. You got the flannel, you got the kid's hair, that bowl cut kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, beyond nostalgia, I think it hits. I think it's a good one.
It's great.
It's a good way to start the series.
Great introduction of the family and everything. Great introduction into what you're walking into. Like, yeah, I mean,
It sets the tone of the show.
oh yeah,
Okay, this is going to be a weird show. It's kind of a
it's goofy.
Tales from
but
the
fun.
Crypt-ish
Yeah.
kind of thing for kids. You can follow. It's going to be the same kids every week. You can follow their stories.
I mean, yeah, it's like what you want as a kid, you know, kids going out and having, you know, crazy adventures.
Mm-hmm. And it made me want to watch the next episode. I didn't want to turn it off.
Me neither.
I wanted to binge the series or the season,
Well,
but I'm slowing down.
too, because we got to save content for, our Twisted Television.
Right. So there's only, because it's a 24-minute episode. There's only a few facts. We already went over the names of the women. The two sons of the Foreverware lady, Betty, are named Bertram and Ernest.
Oh yeah, Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie, and that could go either way. Whoever was thinking about this didn't know if it was from A Wonderful Life or Sesame Street. It could be either
It's
because
A
of the
Wonderful
time
Sesame
period.
Street.
I like it.
Yeah.
And then Betty's house is the house that's used in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That explains why it seems so familiar.
Right.
I've seen that movie a number of times.
Yeah. Cousin Eddie. Love it. So that's the end of Twisted Television with Demented Collective. We went over the first episode of Eerie, Indiana, and come back next week for episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2, The Retainer.
The Retainer. That's next week.
Dun dun dun.